what else to say to you.
Okay.
The reason we have no reason to believe that there is a God. That is a reason not to believe that there is a God. I don't say for certain that monkeys will never fly out of my ass. Okay? Could you believe that maybe it's possible that monkeys might fly out of my ass? Could you just consider the possibility? Or should I call you irrational if you do not consider the possibility that monkeys might fly out of my ass? You have to have a reason to believe something, or it's not justified. It's unwarranted.
I might be able to strengthen my Christian walk with all that faith you got. How do you get so much faith? Okay, were you there the 4 billion years ago or whatever?
You understand what faith is, right? Okay, the difference between a faith-based belief and a
Being sure
reason-based
of what,
belief.
it says in the Bible,
Faith,
being sure of what you...
faith means it's an assertion of conviction, a stoic, unreasonable conviction that is assumed without reason and defended against all reason.
Okay, well, who made that? Is that Merriam-Webster definition?
No, that's actually the Bible. If you look at the different quotations from the Bible, it describes what faith is. It is an unreasonable belief. Now, if you go beyond that,
what do you think?
if you look through all of the theologians, past and present, describing what faith is, you will find that they all hold the same consistency. Faith is an assertion of absolute conviction that is assumed without reason and defended against all reason. A reason-based belief. The 4 billion years, I can show you reasons that is implied. And I can show you that all of the arguments made by creationism, all of them, fall into only 2 categories. Unsupported assumptions that can neither be vindicated or disproved, and testable conclusions that have already been disproved. There is not one, and you're both welcome to try to get me on this, there is not one claim ever made by any creationist ever in support of creation science that ever proved to be accurate. There is wholesale bullshit you can't test and stuff we know is bullshit. And that's it. And with evolution, I've got facts to prove it and prove it some more. And when you're done, I can prove it some more.
So why
and if you want to prove it another way,
theory?
it's, oh my God.
Hey,
have you ever
question?
It is an honest question.
I don't know.
Let me give this man an honest answer. Once upon a time, the founder of Protestant Christianity said that doctors were fools for treating diseases as if they came from material causes. Then, Louis Pasteur disproved that and came up with something, you're gonna love this. He called it germ theory.
Oh.
Germs are still a theory. Atomic theory is still a theory. The theory of gravity has never been proved.
I mean, we're standing on the ground, ain't we? We ain't floating away.
But you don't understand what a theory means.
I mean, it's observed.
A theory is a body of knowledge that is supportive of and explanative of facts. Okay?
I have other questions.
Laws are included within a theory. Facts are included within a theory. That's why you have the theory of evolution, the theory of gravity, the theory of relativity. There is no concept in creationism which meets any of the qualifications required of a scientific theory. None. You have no facts. You have no laws. You have no evidence. You have no explanative power. All you have is whatever science can't explain, you pretend you can.
No, I don't pretend I can explain anything.
Yes, you do. You state as fact that which is not evidently true. And if you say science can't explain this, therefore God.
No, all I wanted you to admit, originally all I wanted you to admit is that there's a possibility there.
But there isn't, and I explained why.
There's no possibility, then you're the reason, Rally, being unreasonable.
How am I being unreasonable?
Because
you have a definition. You have a definition.
I'm not saying this one or that one, I'm just saying...
You have a definition that requires that it defy physical laws, meaning that it is physically impossible. You are literally asking me to say that it is impossible for the impossible to be possible. By definition, it's not possible.
That time you told me that.
I do have one
Well,
other
have you
question.
got it now? I'm not going to have to tell you again, right?
I do have one question. So you believe we came from apes, right?
We are apes right now! Right now! Do you know what an ape is?
I want you to explain what is.
Do you know what an ape is?
What's that? Why? What is it?
I mean, you're looking
When you
at
find out what an ape is, you will find out these things here and all of these here, they're all apes.
Okay.
It's the
Well,
same
why don't apes
for the
start
same
court
reason.
systems and have morals? And
Why
have
don't
laws?
mammals have morals? Can you answer that? Why don't mammals have morals?
Why?
I mean, when you
Human
say we're a
beings-
mammal, right? When you say that,
Right.
we do got morals.
But you have morals. What? You're mammals. Why don't mammals have morals?
I just said I have.
You're an ape for the exact same reason that you are a mammal.
Okay.
So why don't apes have morals?
Okay.
I don't know. Why don't you?
Okay, well, let me ask this. A lot of people out here have told me that because apes resemble men, that sort of helps.
Mallards? Would you
There's
say?
thunderclaps.
Would you say
This man's head is almost as big as mine, and I mean that in an entirely literal sense. What size head do you wear?
Would you say that mallards resemble ducks?
Pleasure, sir.
Mallards. Would you say they resemble ducks?
A mallard's a type of duck, right?
Right. Would you say they resemble ducks?
Yeah, they look like a duck. Sure.
What, a mallard looks like a duck
Yeah,
or is a duck?
it is a duck.
Does a lion look like a cat or is it a cat?
Here's just.
Does an iguana look like a lizard or is it actually a lizard?
Can I just have
Okay, hold
10
on.
seconds?
Lizard includes lots of different kinds. Varanids, iguanids, geckos, right? There's lots of different kinds of lizards, right? There's lots of different kinds of apes. Chimpanzees, gorillas, australopithecines, paranthropines, humans.
Okay.
We're a subcategory.
A doctor made this analogy. I'll tell you who it is at the end, so you don't automatically throw it in the trash. It's not Ray Comfort.
I don't
or Kirk
automatically throw anything in the trash.
Okay. Well, the assumption that because apes resemble humans.
No,
have
no,
the
it's
same
not an
fingers-
assumption.
Can I just have 30 seconds?
But,
The-
okay,
no,
but not,
the-
why
the
should I let you
reality.
break up? If you start from a false premise, I shouldn't let
you're
you
right,
continue.
okay. The reality that apes look like humans.
No, humans are apes.
Okay.
By definition.
But I'm saying they have the same. We both have eyes and the same amount of fingers and everything. So that's sort
Same
of
teeth,
that would
same
mean,
genetic structure,
That would
the
mean
same
that
everything.
we originated from the same ancestor, right? That's the assumption.
Logically,
Okay. Well,
that would
can I
be the
just 10 more
deduction.
seconds? But wouldn't it be the same thing to say that Ford Escapes and Ford Explorers both originated from a skateboard?
No.
That's what Ken Hovind said.
Yeah, I know. Ken Hovind is a liar. His father is a liar and a
You're right.
fraud.
We're all liars. We've all lied
No,
before.
I'm not lying to you.
And
You
God sees
are
lying so serious
perpetuating
that he
lies.
said all liars will have their part in the lake of fire.
No.
Yes, and
that's
they wrote
what-
the
and
book
that's what I
that you
wanna
are
warn you
promoting.
about.
Liars wrote the book that you are promoting.
Very simple.
You're okay.
I thought the rally was over there.
Apes self-reproducing organisms. Our skateboards are self-reproducing organisms.
No.
There you have it. That's the category difference. That's the category fallacy that you're making.
What excuse would you make for all the fuck-ups and all the defects in yourself and everybody else here if your God is omnipotent and perfect?
Because we've sinned.
Evolution
We live in a
explains
fallen-
that.
It's because we sin. We live in a
There's
fallen
no such
creation.
thing as
To you,
sin.
there's not. To you, there's no such thing as a God, but it don't change reality. I mean, that same
Reality
God you don't.
says there's
that
no
same
God.
God that you don't believe in, you're gonna have to stand before him. We're just trying to warn you.
I'm not going to
This
have to
might be the
stand
best
before
thing
him.
somebody ever tells you.
No, it's not. Lying to me is never a good
I've told
thing
you
to
more
say to
truth than you've ever heard, and you don't realize it. You will one day.
me. You will one day turn around and apologize for that. I have strong hope. I'm AronRa, and I approve this message.